Hi, Jay here with Laguna Tools. Today I'm demonstrating the new Junior Power Feeder. This is designed to fit on bandsaws, and it's one of the easiest accessories to bolt to your bandsaw. There are two bolts that go through an anchor bracket. It slides to the edge of the table and you tighten it down, and it's just that easy to get it started up and running. It's also easy to remove if you need to hand feed stuff through your machine. The bandsaw feeder really improves resaw cuts, and the reason it does that is it gives you smooth, consistent feed rates as you're sawing material through the saw. Normally, if you're hand feeding and you're changing hands as you're feeding, you might see some slight variations as you're resawing. To get the highest yield out of your saw and the best feed and the best quality of cuts, a power feeder can't be beat. The Junior Feeder mounts up to most bandsaws from about 18 inches all the way up through 37 inches. It's completely adjustable. There are two bolts that are on the top, and that allows you to unbolt this and to slide it out. This arm telescopes out to fit larger bandsaws, and it can be just as easily moved back in. 18 inches is about the smallest bandsaw that you want to install this on. There are two drive wheels. In this case, we've got them split and running wide, but the wheels can be flipped and reversed to make them low for lower projects and small items that you're going to feed through the bandsaw, or spread apart to support wider stock up against the fence. It's driven by a gear motor, and that's good for speeds from about 5 to 40 feet per minute flowing through the bandsaw. It's spring loaded, so when you have this anchored to the table, you can pull this out, put your stock in, let it go, and it'll start feeding that stock right through the bandsaw. When setting the arm length, you'll want to observe where the blade is based on your blade width and your table size. You'll want to have the crest of the wheel riding about 10 millimeters in front of the cutting teeth of the blade and about 10 millimeters just to this side of the blade. And that gives you plenty of room for operation. You'll set the forward motion on these two bolts, and then you can also set the side-to-side motion by unlocking the handle and sliding this, and then finally locking that down in place, and that'll give you the range of motion that you need for the thickness of your material and the positioning of the feeder for the type of stock that you're running. You can also go through and adjust the spring pressure by tightening or loosening the two nuts that are at the end of the spring. For the best use of the power feeder to feed stock smoothly through the bandsaw, you want to make sure that your material is clean and free of dust and debris. There is a small brush that's on the backside here that brushes these wheels that go up against the wood to make sure that it feeds smoothly all the time. Keep your stock clean, keep your dust collection system working as the bandsaw is cutting. The controls for the Junior Feeder are very simple. First of all, there's a handle that's right up in front, and this allows you to pivot the feeder to grab the thickness of stock that you'll be working with. You simply pull it out, feed your stock in, and let the wheels go up against the material. Next up are the electronic controls here. You'll see that there is a variable speed knob. This allows you to control the speed. It's on a dual scale, so you'll see the increments in both meters and in feet per minute. And then finally, there's an e-stop on the button. This is a push button e-stop. In order to reset it, if it doesn't power up, you'll rotate that knob so that it pops out. Now it's ready to start. I can turn the feeder on, and you'll see that the wheels start feeding. I think it's best to start off with a nice slow speed until you get the handle of your blade and your material and how it works with it. Once you're comfortable with that, you can go right to the number you need for the particular material and the particular blade that you're using. When you're done using it, you can hit the e-stop to turn it off, or you can just turn the speed all the way down to the off position. Well, now that we've got the feeder set up on the saw, it's time to cut some wood samples with the power feeder. One thing you want to check here is to make sure that the fence is square to the table, make sure that your trunnions are tight, and then finally make sure you've got a fresh Resaw King blade on your saw. The Resaw King blade is a carbide tip blade. You only want to use a good resaw blade anytime you're running the power feeder. Again, for a new stock, you want to go through and start with this on slow speed, and if you're getting good quality cuts, speed it up a little bit, and if you need to adjust it and slow it down, once you have a consistent feed, you'll get consistent results across your product. Let's go ahead and fire it up, and we'll get the saw turned on and start feeding some stock. With the saw and the dust collector turned off, I can come over here and examine these boards. What's fantastic about the feeder is you get great consistent results off of the saw. And again, without hand feeding the board through, you get really consistent results. There's a few tips when you're using the power feeder. One of them is you want to make sure that your table is clean and smooth. If you want to wax the table, it helps things to slide, and wax the fence. If your wood is really smooth on one surface, the surface that's going up against the wheels, you may want to sand it. Hit it with a little 80 grit and a random orbit sander, and that'll get the board prepared to feed through the saw a little bit easier. Also be prepared as you're feeding stock through. If it does start to slip, just go ahead and hand feed it a little bit until it can grip on the board again. But fantastic results, ultra high yield out of the boards. Again, if I'm cutting softer woods or smaller pieces, I can really ramp the speed up on this one and shoot the boards through pretty quickly. Now that we've got the feeder adjusted and I know it's working good, it's time to try a little bit taller piece of wood. As you can see, this is a nice tall board. It's got some bark inclusions and a knot in it, so I want to make sure that I feed through those slowly and don't have any damage at all. I've got the guides raised up a little bit, but they're still pretty close to the top of the board. Let's go ahead and fire it up and get moving. Boy, another beautiful book match set. You can see what an advantage it is to have a power feeder to feed stock through the saw, particularly on longer boards or when you've got a lot of stacks of boards. It speeds up the process. You may also find that there's a few other accessories that make this process even easier, especially for ultra long boards. A pair of our XP roller tables on the in-feed and out-feed side make this a lot easier. You can set those to the table height and get the wood up to the feeder, start feeding it through, and it'll out-feed onto a roller table for you. If you have any other questions or you're looking for the Junior feeder or any of our accessories, look us up at lagunatools.com. Thanks for choosing Laguna Tools.